Hey guys, it's Turbo FD here, and today I'm going to be giving you tips to help you become a better recon player. Now, mind you, the tips I'll be giving have worked for me, so I hope they'll work for you. My first tip for recon players is to stop constantly switching snipers. I say this because they are each different in their own way. Get used to one and stick with it for a bit. I would recommend the bolt actions as they do more damage per shot than the automatic snipers. For those new to sniping, I would recommend the M40A5. The M40A5 has an okay bullet velocity, but it has a higher round per minute than most of the other snipers, which will really help with follow-up shots should you miss and need to re-engage your target. My only problem with the M40A5 is when you get a better scope, it seems to take up a lot of screen space, and that can be very hazardous. My favorite rifle is the L96. Though it does have a slow round per minute, it's currently ranked 3rd in bullet velocity out of the other bolt action snipers. Now, you don't have to take my recommendation on which sniper rifle to use, but in my opinion, using something like the M98B or any of the semi-auto rifles would not help your accuracy at all. Simply because the M98 has very little bullet drop and the semi-auto rifles are just a spam fest. Now, moving on to the next important thing to worry about is your sidearm. Make sure you're using a pistol that you're very comfortable with because you will be using it a lot. Should someone come near you and you miss your first shot, your sidearm is basically what determines your life or death. Being proficient with it can save your life. Not only that, but should you actually get a hit but didn't kill the enemy, then you can rapidly switch to your sidearm to finish them off. My preferred sidearm is the 1911 due to it having a low recoil and having the highest damage output for all the semi-auto pistols. Should you be a revolver guy, then obviously I would suggest using the 44 Magnum due to its massive damage compared to any of the other pistols. One shot to the head and basically your enemies are done for. Now, for some reason, the majority of Recon's instinct when playing Recon seems to be the usual sit in the back and snipe all game. Well, definitely refrain from doing that, because not only are you hurting yourself by not getting any better, but also your teammates, since you really don't contribute to the team. Stick with the team. I can't stress this enough. Stick with your team, guys. They are as much help to you as you are to them. They can provide ammo and health, which is invaluable. Now, I'm not saying you should be right behind them all the time, but try to stick to their area and provide overwatch and covering them should they be capturing the MCOM or the capture point. Make sure you put down your tugs near your team's positions so they can see if anybody is creeping up behind them. And don't forget to use your radio. Man, you guys really need to use your radio and not just use it to get to higher areas. Also, actually use your SOFLAM so your team isn't bombarded with helis and tanks. Please use your items more often as they are huge help to the team. Now, one of my personal strategies when sniping is not to stand next to the window when sniping inside of a building, but to stay farther back in the room and shoot from there. Standing right in front of the window makes your head and body a bigger target because your body is taking up the majority of the window space. So any shot in that direction and you would have a higher chance of getting hit than if you were to sit back in the room. Not only that, but your sniper glint is visually reduced since you're more tucked inside of the building instead of broadcasting your position in front of the window. Also, avoid commonly using recon areas that everyone else uses because everyone will be looking there for you and it's best to keep them guessing. Another thing I like to do is never stay in a certain area for too long. No, it's not due to camping, but because once you give away your position, there will be players ruthlessly trying to kill you and will make you their #1 target. Constantly moving not only puts you one step ahead of the enemies, but can also change the tide of an ambush. I always check back where I was before moving, and you will see a lot of the times enemy will seem to gather there looking for you, providing you with easy kills from a distance. Now, there really isn't anything magical I can say for you to connect your shots, but there are a few things you can do to raise the chances of that hit. When aiming long distance and you aren't sure if you're going to land a hit on a non-moving target, then try to aim above the head just a bit. Now, if you're too low, you will either hit their legs or their center mass. Should you be kind of correct, you will have a chance of hitting their center mass, but more or less you may get a headshot. Now, moving targets will obviously be harder, so you have to lead your shots while also calculating bullet drop from a distance. Personally, I would say aim a bit in front and don't even worry about headshots. Just try to hit center mass if they're moving left or right. Now, if they're moving in a straight line towards you, then you could try to pull off a headshot, since it will be 10 times easier as the target gets bigger when heading towards you. Now, for my last tip, please guys, please never go prone, because you will become the easiest target on the map. If the enemy sees you and you miss your shot, then you're almost guaranteed death, because you would still have to get up and try to attempt to get away. As I said earlier, being constantly on the move will make you such a harder target instead of giving away a kill. Well guys, that's all the tips I have for you today. Hopefully you find this useful and can subscribe and share with others who need some help in the recon class, as I would greatly appreciate it. See you next time.